Join us for a review of the all-new Nissan Juke. Subscribe if you haven't done so far, and let's go! In the front, the new generation looks a little bit more dynamic than the outgoing model, but it keeps the characteristic round headlamps, but now comes standard with LED, and also here the very slim LED daytime running light. So this is the main headlamp unit LED and the LED daytime running light. 4.21 meters, 13'8" or 166 inches. That's the new length, and it's 8 centimeters longer than before or 3 inches longer than before. Also have a slightly longer wheelbase that will have an effect on the interior of the car. We'll soon experience that together. It starts with either 16-inch steel wheels, then you get 17-inch alloys, and then there's directly a step to those ones here, exclusively in this N design pack, the maximum 19-inch rims. So that looks really massive. Will have a negative impact on the driving. We'll soon find out more about that. Here now the rear of the new Nissan Juke. It has a very three-dimensional look, especially with this falling rear window. Very interesting. But then this line is very much upright, and this will be better than for the trunk space. We'll soon take a look at that inside, how that one changed. Then very modern tail lamps right there with this LED signature. Pretty cool, definitely. And sums up also for designers because, you have the sporty, diffuser style, something in the rear, but then there are no fake exhaust, and it's good to keep this very honest design. As for engines, well, no hydraulic strut, but I think in this segment with this price, I think it's okay. It's beeping, by the way, because it's powered at the moment here also with those clamps here, that it stays powered here also in our studio. That won't be with your car, of course. This one here is the only available engine. It's a 1-liter 3-cylinder turbo petrol engine with 117 horsepower. 6-speed manual gearbox or 7-speed dual clutch transmission. And the whole car is, by the way, 23 kilograms lighter than the predecessor generation. Now to the interior, where we'll have keyless entry when pressing this button here. And there we go, this one with the keyless entry button. And doors closing sound test. Yeah, it sounds quite solid. Then we have new materials at the inside of the doors, for example. Here a softer leatherette, and I feel that it could be the same supplier than, for example, the Mercedes A-Class has. Just from the, it's a very high-class leatherette, so no animal ingredient. Well done. Hardpack, however, on the top part of the door right here. Reasonable door pockets. And then there's the first speaker of this optional 8-speaker Bose sound system. One here, then there's another one, like, in this area somewhere. And then later on more deals to that soon. Steering wheel here, flat bottom, quite sporty. Controls here at the steering wheel for the volume on the right and left side for the adaptive cruise control. The AEB, autonomous emergency brake, is standard on all Juke, and optional then the ACC, and also the blind spot monitor, so either optional or with higher trims. Very interesting. Then those seats here, always you get seats with integrated head restraint as standard, but rather in black fabric then. I can also recommend those. This one then is part of 3 choices in the N design pack. The one I recommend here too is you have fabric here on the inside that also stays cool in summer and warm in winter. And then a sustainable leatherette also on the outside with a great black-white contrast. And then this hole then for a sporty look. So this one then is the option N design package seat. And here also with the Bose speaker, which is integrated in the seat. So 2 speakers then per seat. And with 4 in the front and 2 here makes total then of 8 speakers for this Bose sound system. Seat here with a manual control, pump it up y'all. But here I put it to the lowest position that we can check the headroom with 1.86 meters or 6'1". And that leaves plenty of headroom in the front, no problem. Steering wheel can be adjusted here in reach and also in height, sorry. Yeah, well, hiking, yeah, something that's also fun. Now the interior overview, again with this N-Design pack in the white line. Then we have the high-class leatherette here also on top of the dashboard. It's so well done. And then also the other new finishes, like here, those floating vents, and they even have a nice clicking sound when you move them. They really paid attention to details. Then this manual climate unit still available, and even this one feels, haptically very, very well. Then heated seats, new 8-inch screen, soon more details to that. That's not my music, that's from the demo phone. I'm listening to more high-class trance. Yeah, let's leave it like this. And in the lower area, there's a USB connection then for the either Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, and the 12-volt power supply as well. Again, the steering wheel in the sporty style with the flat bottom has the right side for the car. You activate the ACC on the right side, pick up the phone, for example, and then some digital controls here on the left. Then you can control the driver's assistance systems, for example. Analog dials left and right, and then this small digital screen on the inside, which has now decent resolution there, also trip, and of course a digital speedometer will be in there. Traffic sign recognition is also standard on this car, by the way. That's also cool. And some details to the top infotainment screen as it is right now. That's the way Apple CarPlay is shown, and they really use all of the screen. That's good. Then you have also a hotkey to the map, GPS map here. We're in Cologne today for you. And then you can still, I like to have this knob to be able to zoom while driving. That's good. But of course you could also use the touchscreen, but that's handier as a co-driver. Then you can see you have this search mode. So, that's inverting. I don't like that. I'm more like the smartphone experience, which goes in the same, do you see what I mean, right? What about the rear compartment? First of all, again, you have this integrated handle here on the top part. Why not? And a very interesting, unique door closing sound for the rear doors. But doesn't sound too bad, so nicely done. Then, well, the opening is quite okay, I think, and then hardback in on the top. But then again, this soft touch leather, and it really reminds me of the supplier they have for the Mercedes A-Class for the high-class leatherette. So big step forward, definitely. And also reasonable door pockets right there. And when you have the Bose sound system, so it's not 10 speakers, this one here is a fake or blind speaker then, because you don't need them when you have the Bose sound system, because the integrated head restraint speakers also serve for the rear seats, but they just left it for cost reasons there because the entry version has it right there. Then you can see already here you will have a little bit more space, soon more about that, and you have the same cool design, the black and white contrast in the rear. So, I love blue exterior cars definitely, but when you have this white black interior, it only makes sense to go for the black white exterior. So probably I would take the car just exactly as it stands here right now. Very cool. Then let's get inside. And in the predecessor Juke, I could not sit here when I was also in the front seat before and left the seat as it is. And now 6 centimeters more legroom. And indeed, you can drive this easily now with 4 tall adults. That's definitely an improvement. Yeah, of course, the car is a little bit longer than, but I think parking-wise, you can still live with that. Headroom increased by about 1 centimeter, so I can even put a hand over my head still when I'm sitting here. We all know the Juke did not have a big trunk. It was then, facelifted, corrected, a little bit bigger. But here, this new generation, yeah, it's about 420 liters now. That's a massive step forward again. This one is at the moment when you don't want to have a big loading sill, so you can put this cover up like this. Then you have this area here for some hangers. And let me give you the measurements right there. And that is here about 72 centimeters in length and about 1 meter in width. And the height here at the moment would be about 35 centimeters. Of course, you can also remove this cover here and you can also flip the seats. But first, I want to show you that you can remove the split like this. Then you can, temporarily maybe put it in this position here, for example, to load in and out or something. You can completely put it out. That would be possible. There's also like sample suitcase or whatever in there. And then the height here is at more than 50, so about 54 centimeters in height. So you can be a little bit flexible with that. So, and here we go. So that's done all the way flipped. And this is of course better than when this split cover is in place, because then you have an even loading surface up to the front seats. And that would be then here 1 meters and 50. And now to our conclusion for today with the all-new Nissan Juke. Exterior-wise, I think a little bit less polarizing than before. Might it be because the front has been just modernized, or might it be the reason that so many other cars in this segment meanwhile surged that it's not so unique anymore? I don't know, but definitely it has remained, you know, this very round, joyful toy car character that is still the same. Of course, the car a little bit longer, but the big advantage is you have more legroom now, so you can better use it, you know, as a primary vehicle, for example. And the key thing to me is that the quality of the interior materials have been massively upgraded. Of course, even more visible here in this special trim here we had today with this N-Design pack on the interior. Also better infotainment system, easier to use, especially with the smartphone connection, and also more comfort, especially in the rear. We'll see how it plays it as for the long-term comfort in the front, but definitely there's more comfort in the rear and also more luggage space. So in every single detail, this car has been made better than before. So I really have to say that the previous generation Juke was not my kind of car, and also I wasn't so happy about the interior and so on. But this one here, definitely a massive step forward. It's really, you know, not that often that we see so big difference from one generation to another. This one is really the case. Of course, we're looking forward to drive this car. So if you're joining this review at a later stage, maybe the driving review will already be online. If you're watching this, you know, very freshly, then you have to wait a little bit that we also can drive this car. Again, there will just be this one petrol engine so far, which you can understand because of the new EU emission rules. So there most probably also won't be a Nismo version anymore, and not all-wheel drive, so front-wheel drive only, because they have to keep the CO2 output low, which is of course also a good thing. So what's your take? Please give me your feedback on the Nissan Juke. Is it still like this love or hate car? Would really like to hear your opinion on that. Subscribe if you haven't done so far here to Autogefühl, and also to our other channel, of course, so both Autogefühl and Autogefuel, wherever you're watching this video, and see you next time.